Hey everybody, I forgot to move my microphone over. Good evening. Welcome to some Night Owl Sprints. So tonight we are on day 3 of our Heart Breathing's Word Sprint Challenge. I am currently live on both YouTube and our Facebook group, which is the Word Sprint Challenge group. If you are not in that group, you are certainly welcome to join us. Just make sure when you request to join, you answer the questions, because otherwise we get spammers in the group. So we want to make sure everybody's chill and excited and ready to write. So come join us in the Word Sprint Challenge group if you would like. There is a link down below if you are joining us on YouTube. If you're joining us on Facebook, hello. So we are going to be going through day 3 sprints. If you are like, oh my gosh, what's the Word Sprint Challenge? I have no idea what this is. That's totally okay. You can still jump in with us tonight. But basically, this is a 5-day challenge that started on Monday, where we are experimenting with different lengths and times of sprints. So a writing sprint is just when you set a timer and you sprint and focus only on your writing for that short period of time. And a sprint can be anything from 5 minutes to an hour if you'd like for it to be. But in general, keeping a deadline rather than just, I'm going to write for 3 hours or whatever, whenever I feel like it. For a lot of people, and this is, of course, is not true for everybody, but for a lot of people, that is a way to keep your brain focused and to get more words in a faster period of time. Now, I will say this, and some of you might have noticed this already as you were going through sprints. There are certain points in your draft that sprints might not work for you. Even if they work for you most of the time, you might come to a point where it's like, okay, I'm getting towards the end of the book. I'm in the flow and I just can't even be bothered with 5-minute sprints. That's the way it works for me, is towards the very end of a sprint or the end of a novel, I am like, okay, I'm just going to write until I feel a little bit tired and the words will just flow. There are other points, though, in the book, particularly when things are going kind of tough, that I tend to resist sitting down to write, because I'm like, I'm not sure what's going to happen. I don't really feel like it. Like on a normal Wednesday night, I've just gotten the baby to bed and I can actually hear her still up there kind of, talking a little bit to herself. I had a live stream until 5 p.m., so I'm a little bit tired. Normally, I would not be motivated to write, but when you give yourself writing sprints where you say, okay, I'm just going to sit down for 15 minutes, often you can get more words in than you expected. And that's one way to keep consistent with your writing habit. So this week we have been practicing and experimenting different times of day, different lengths of sprints, different lengths of breaks. So we're going to continue on with that for sure. And what I have pulled up here on my other screen, this is just another tab in my Chrome browser, is the tomato timer, because of course the idea behind sprints is actually the Pomodoro method, which is a productivity method that can be used in all different kinds of situations, not just for writing, but it does work particularly well for writing. But there are tons of Pomodoro apps and websites and things like that that you can use that are free. So tomato-timer.com is a free one that you can grab from the web. So I have set us up for Night Owl Sprints, which is our 3rd day, where we are going to practice writing or experiment with writing here at night. And of course, I know depending on where you are in the world, you might not actually be night. It might be morning for you, or it might be the middle of the night. Who knows? Or it could only be 5 p.m. if you're on the West Coast. But right now, as I hear where I am, it is evening time. So even if you don't normally write at night, give it a shot. We're going to do 3 15-minute sprints with a 5-minute break in between. And the whole point of this is to really pay attention to how many words you get, how well you slip into a writing flow, or if 15 minutes isn't quite long enough for you. And even if you think you know what your very best sprinting time is, keep an open mind. Oh, Nicole says it's 3 p.m. here in Hawaii. So definitely not evening yet for you. That's okay. Australia afternoon. Yeah, Tegan, I knew we'd get some people kind of all over the place. So it is maybe not the ideal actual evening time, but I'm glad that you're here. Thank you so much for being here. But we are going to try these 3 sprints. After I am finished at 9 p.m., I will log out of YouTube. But in our Facebook sprinting group, Rhiannon, who is one of our amazing admins for the group, will do her normal Wednesday night, late night writing sprints from 9 to 11 p.m. So that's just the next 2 hours after this, if anybody wants to join her with that as well. We're going to go ahead and get started. But in the break, in the next 5 minutes, what I'm going to do is talk to you just a little bit about what tomorrow's sprints are going to be for day 4 of the challenge. If you have not joined the challenge yet, but you want to get hold of the free challenge workbook where you can participate in all 5 days of the challenge and keep your word count so that you can figure out your words per minute and then determine your sweet spot for your writing sprints, then you can always grab that over at my newsletter. So if you're in my newsletter, it's in the resource library and I send you a link when you sign up for that, or you can go and grab it in the challenge link down below. And you will need to sign up for my newsletter list to grab it, but feel free to unsubscribe if you don't want to stay there, but I would love for you to stick around. All right, so what we are going to do is a 15-minute sprint. I'm going to mute my microphone once the timer starts, so it will be totally silent. So if you would like to have some kind of noise or sound, then go ahead and pull up your music playlist or whatever it is you would like to do, because we're going to keep it silent here and we're just going to focus and write. I am looking at my webcam, which is also where my writing is. So I'm going to be kind of creepily staring at the screen the whole time, but that's okay. It's going to be great. And yes, Rhiannon does rock. She's lots and lots of fun. And I enjoy writing with her when I can make it on there. So we're going to start for 15 minutes and then we'll take a 5-minute break. And during that 5-minute break, you can come back and let us know, how did that feel for you? Do you enjoy writing for 15 minutes? Do you feel like it's kind of getting too long to be able to focus without interruption? Or is it like you're just barely getting started and now I'm stopping you? And really pay attention to the way that feels, because every single writer here might have a different experience with a 15-minute sprint. Some of you are going to like and be more productive with 20-minute sprints or 45-minute sprints. And some people need only 10 minutes. But some of you might think, oh, I'm going to hate 15, but you might get more words than you expect. Oh no, Ms. L says chirping fire alarm. Be safe. I hope it's just a warning or whatever you call it. My brain is basically dead at this point. Not warning, but you know what I'm saying. An accident. I don't know. This is going to be a really good writing session for me, I can tell. But at least I'm sitting down. And that is one of the things that will help you with sprints, is you can say to yourself, you can trick your mind and say, okay, I'm not going to have a 0 day. I'm just going to sit down for 15 minutes and then I can be done. And then I will have stuck to my habit of writing. You can do anything for 15 minutes. You've got this. All right. So let's get straight to the sprints. Thank you all so much for being here, and go ahead and open up your document wherever you are writing. Grab your music if you'd like it. And we're going to start the sprints here in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. I am muting my microphone. I will see you all in 15 minutes. Okay, that's the end of the sprint. The second I like unmuted, my stomach was growling. Oh, it still says 10 minutes. Just a moment. Let's hide that and change it. All right, so let me know how it went. If you are new to sprints, the way that you figure out how it went for you is you just select with your mouse all the words that you just wrote. So find the place where you had left off or where you started, and then just select those words. And usually, like Google Docs, for example, you go to tools and then word count, and it will automatically tell you how many words that is. Or another way you can do it if you don't want to grab the words or you're not sure where you left off is to always record what number word you're at when you start and then where you are when you end, and subtract the second number from the first. So, or the first number from the second. So, wow, 464, 899, 489, 464. This is incredible. So I'm seeing a lot of 400s, a lot of 300s, 718, Kim, that's incredible. And, you know, it's really not a matter of comparing yourself to anybody else. It's just really and truly looking at how did you do? How did that feel? So 485 words, very pumped. 189, usually I do better. Well, you do have a chirping fire alarm, so I think that you're given a pass on that. So what some of you might find out, and this is why we're doing, oh my gosh, there's so many coming by, I can't even pull them all out. I'm seeing a lot of really great numbers here. And it doesn't matter if it's 100 words or 700 words. What matters is how are you doing in a 15-minute sprint versus how did you do yesterday with a 25-minute sprint? Because what some of you might find is that when you have 25 minutes, you get 250 words, but when you have 15 minutes, you get 225 words. So even though you have 10 extra minutes, you're still not getting that many more words. So that would mean your most efficient way would be the 15-minute time frame. So that's really what we're looking at, is not a comparison to anyone else, but a look at how did that feel for 15 minutes? Did you feel like you were just barely getting into a flow and you stopped mid-sentence and you wish you could have kept going? Or were you eyeing the clock already and seeing that we still had 3 minutes left and going, I'm ready to be done. I wish that I could do it. Like I wish that I could take a break already. So that's one thing to pay attention to. Another thing to pay attention to is what time of day is it for you? So today's challenge technically is the night owl sprint, but as we talked about, people are kind of all over the place. So, you know, it might be afternoon, it might be 1 a.m. for you. How does this time of day feel for you? And like Kat just said, I have a headache. So that might be another factor. If you have the Word Sprint Challenge workbook that you might want to put in there in the journaling section is, I was handwriting and I have a headache and I'm not feeling really great. So for me, what I might say is Evie was up at 4:45 this morning and I barely got any sleep. So it's just one of those kind of things where you're going to have a lot of different factors that will affect how many words you can get in a chosen period of time. So we've only got a minute and a half left on the clock. So just real quick, I'm going to talk about tomorrow's sprint. So Thursday's sprint is called Your Choice. And this is up to you to choose what time of day and what length of sprint. And I really encourage you to play around with multiple factors and then really see how it feels. Have fun with it. Try, doing something like what my husband and I used to do, which is sprinting for 15 minutes and then doing like one challenge in a game or one level in a game, and then sprinting for 15 minutes and doing a level in the game or a piece of a puzzle or reading a chapter of a book or something like that. Or you could try, I've never really gotten up early in the morning to try sprint. So I'm going to try like 4 a.m. or I'm going to try during my lunch break tomorrow. But try something you haven't yet tried and try a length that you haven't tried before so that you can really get that data, because you might be surprised what you found. I found myself unable to not edit misspelled words. Yeah, that can hold you back, that inner editor, but that's okay. Your process is your process. So you're just kind of taking an average. So I'm starting to see people saying like, this is starting to make sense for me. the 10-minute sprints are better for me. The 20-minute sprints are better for me. So the more you get to know about yourself, the better it's going to be for your long-term writing productivity. So we've got 8 seconds. We're going to roll right into another 15-minute sprint. So get that music ready to go, whatever you need, and let's write. I'm going to mute my microphone and I will see you all in 15 minutes. Daniel, I think I saw a question. If you want to put it in the comments, I can answer while we're sprinting. Okay, there is our 15-minute sprint. Let us know how it went. Oh, I'm so glad that you caught us here too. And yeah, Daniel De La Torre, do not worry about having a baby in the house. I agree. I think that it can be really kind of tough, a little bit off topic, but it can be kind of tough to find that balance. But this does come back around to the topic, because that's another way that writing sprints can help. Is sometimes I think we feel like you've got to have an hour or 2 hours to get any writing done. Like you have to be able to have the exact right ambiance, and you have to be right in the mood, and it has to feel really good, and you got to have a full 2 hours to write. But especially when it comes to having limited amounts of time, like you've got a baby that you're looking after, or you're a caretaker, or you've got a full-time job and that kind of thing. So when you have 15 minutes, like, yeah, when she's napping or she's just eaten and she's much quieter or something like that. So the keyboard, I guess it's going to really depend on the baby if she wakes up with that sound or not. So you'll just have to learn that as you go. All right. So, wow, 901 in a, who did that? Oh my gosh, that is crazy. We've got 501. Oh, Bee-Boo. 901, 545. Uh-oh, Kitty says, well, that does not sound so encouraging. Oh, I was just trying to read that comment. So yeah, this is incredible. So there are a few things that you can do to increase your sprint time. One is typing. So if you type faster and you practice your typing, there are tons of like free typing classes or games that you can use. One of the ones I mention a lot is Typing of the Dead. It has some curse words, but it's a really fun kind of like 70s zombie typing game. And it's really fun. So if you can come up with ways to practice your typing, that would be great. Another way to increase your word count, if you're willing to try it, is to do dictation. Sometimes people can get up to like 2,000 to 5,000 words per hour if you dictate. I have trouble with my brain not really working that way, but be open-minded. If you really want to maximize the amount of writing you get in the time that you have, especially if you are limited in your time, this type of exercise where you pay attention to the time of day, how much break you really need in between, because here we're taking a 5-minute break, and of course we're in a group, so maybe you're not really getting up and going to the bathroom and that kind of thing. But for some people, 5 minutes is not enough time to reset. Maybe you need more like 7 minutes in between. So tomorrow, for day 4 of the challenge, I want you to really think ahead. Decide tonight what you're going to do tomorrow and start thinking, how long do I want to try? You can try several different ones, like one 20-minute sprint, one 40-minute sprint, and see how that feels. Try a longer break in between. Try writing in a different location, and make notes of everything you try and see if you end up with a better word count or getting into flow a little bit easier. So you're going to be choosing the length of sprints and then what time of day you're going to sprint. Or you could say, you know what, I'm going to do one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and one in the evening. It's totally up to you. It's kind of like dealer's choice, sprinter's choice. And then what we're going to do tomorrow is at 3 p.m. Eastern time, I'm going to go live again, and I'm going to talk you through how to take the data that you've gotten so far and take it down to an equation, a math equation of figuring out your word per minute sprinting time. And so you're going to compare days 1, 2, 3, and 4 if you finished it, and see really what was the better one for you. Because I've already seen people commenting here about how they are surprised at how many words they can get in 10 minutes or 15 minutes because they've only ever tried like sprinting for 30 minutes at a time, but they're surprised how much they can do in 10 minutes. You might be surprised how many words you got in 30 minutes as compared to 10. So it's going to matter what that word per minute time is. And then what we'll do is we'll calculate that tomorrow. And then Friday will be really your first round at your personal sweet spot sprinting time to see what you can get. Then on Saturday, we're going to have a double down day. So I'll explain that a little bit as soon as we wrap up here. Now, Rhiannon has sprints going on after this at 9 p.m., but we've only got 12 minutes until 9. So she is going to push hers just a little bit back. She won't be doing them here on YouTube, but she will be for those of you in the Facebook group. But she's going to start as soon as I'm finished. So we're going to go a little bit over the top of the hour, but we have one more to go. So this is our final sprint of the live stream. I'm going to mute and let's get as many words as we can. And if you found that 15 minutes is too long for you, try only 10 this time and take a break for the rest of it. See how it feels. Ah, there we go. Okay, that was the final sprint of this live stream. So thank you so much for joining us for sure. I appreciate that. I'm going to stop this timer. I'm so glad that you guys were here, even though we're kind of scattered all over the globe and it's a different time of day. Some of you are at work, some of you are, it's the middle of the night. Let us know how that sprint went for you. In the grand scheme of the actual challenge, if you're participating in that, the main pieces of information you need to have each day when you try the challenge is how long did you sprint? So don't include the break time, only the writing time. So for tonight, we did 45 minutes total. And then how many words did you get total for the whole thing? And what if you have the notebook or the challenge workbook, it gives you a place to put in each sprint, how long it was and how many words you got. We're going to use that information tomorrow to determine what your sweet spot is out of all of these choices. But you do have one more day before we do that calculation. And that's Thursday, day 4, your choice day. So go ahead after this and decide what you're going to do for tomorrow. And if you were just joining us for sprints because you saw that I was live, then that's fine too. But if you want to participate in the challenge, it's not too late. We've been kind of going live doing it, but there is a workbook that will guide you through all the days. And it's possible that you will get to Friday and still feel like you want to do some more experimentation. You also might just go ahead and download the workbook and start on Monday instead of starting today. So that is totally fine. But it is really important to look at all the different factors. So instead of just sitting down to write, if you've been struggling, really try approaching it with this type of method where you're looking like a scientist with theories and you're saying, okay, I think that if I go for 15 minutes, it's going to feel like this. And pay attention to, did you get more done because you were here with a group? So then you can seek out live sprints like we have every day in the Word Sprint group, or there's tons of authors that do live sprints here on YouTube throughout the week. Or do you write better when you don't have somebody like me chatting in between and you really just need more silence? Pay attention to those kind of things and you can start getting even more flow in your life and even more words. And that's the whole point of it, is really to just be here to support you. So thank you guys so much for being here. Like I mentioned before, yay, Matt, 12,000 words total in your manuscript. That is incredible. And I saw several great word counts coming through. Like amazing, everything from 70 words this sprint to 762 and up. And remember, it's not a comparison against other people. It's a comparison against yourself, because maybe you get 75 words each sprint for 15, but maybe if you went for 20 minutes, you'd get 150 and double that word count. So that's the important thing to look forward to. We have gone a little bit over the top of the hour, but if you would like to come and join my Facebook group, we have over 2,400 members in there, and there's actually 1,900 active members in the group, and we go live. Somebody goes live in that group every single day, and we have a couple of different events. So Saturday, we have an event called the Double Down Day, and it's live sprints all throughout the day with different admins, and we're challenging you to write double your normal word count. So you don't have to be there all day, but it is fun to just kind of jump in when you get a chance. And then in every third weekend of the month, we do a virtual writing retreat, which is kind of a fun little pretend that we all fly to a retreat somewhere, an exotic location in the world, and we write live sprints all throughout the day for 3 full days. And we do it every single month, and it's so fun and so encouraging. And we have some people that get thousands of words throughout the weekend and really start to finish their book. So if you want that extra support, definitely come join us in that group. The link to join is down below. And if you want to grab the Word Sprint Challenge workbook, you can get it when you join my newsletter list. There's also a link down below. And if you're already on the list, you can get it in the resource library. So you should have a link in your email. And if not, just shoot me a message and I will message it to you. So Mizelle said, which word count should we use as a gauge for the double down? So I encourage people, we talked about doing like a 10K day, but there are some people that are just never going to get 10K 10K in a day. Actually, most of us can't get 10K in a day. So instead, we decided to make it individual to you. So double down is just, what is your average word count? What do you feel like is your average daily word count when you're really trying to write? Is it 500 words usually a day? What's your usual personal goal? And then try to double it for that day. So just try to go extra. So if you normally write 500 words a day on average, try for 1,000. If you normally write 5,000, try for 10,000. So it's just your personal thing. And I think that makes it a little bit better of a challenge, because you don't have to feel like, oh, I can't participate because I can't write 12,000 words in a day or whatever. So it really makes it tailored to yourself. Oh my goodness, 3809. Way to go, Jasmine. I didn't even look up mine, but actually my character name that I'm writing is called Jasmine. So anyway, that is how tonight went. Thank you guys so much for joining. Don't forget to hit the like and let me know if you enjoy doing some writing sprints. We might pepper those in throughout the year here that we get a chance to. And make sure, if you want to participate in the challenge, you grab that workbook. It's never too late to go and get it and get started when you get a chance. And I will see you guys at 3 p.m. to Eastern time tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to really sprint. I forget if I put it on there, maybe for an hour, and we're going to do some sprints. But for the most part, we are going to talk about how to calculate your words per minute based on the data that you've gotten so far. And don't forget to come join the group. I'm going to hang out over there for a little while and let you in. Make sure you answer those questions if you want to come join our Facebook sprinting group. It's nothing but positivity. So it's really fun. So yeah, what did I get for my word count? I can actually probably look at it real quick. I didn't keep track of each individual one, but I know where I started. All right, let's see. Tools, word count. So I ended up with 1,184 words for this total sprint, though I did not check individually. I should have, because that's kind of the point, but I did not participate because I was talking too much in the middle. But thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that you enjoyed this for sure. I will see you all again tomorrow. And there is a new Heart Breathings video coming up tomorrow on a little bit of an extension of my How to Write a Series. We're going to talk about the difference between a series and a serial, and what are the definitions there and how does it work. So I hope that you'll join me for that video as well. And I will see you guys soon. Good night. Don't forget to come join Rhiannon for the next 2 hours. She's got live sprints going.